Hi everyone, happy Friday.
Hi.
So Sophie and I were just having a conversation this morning about visibility and the importance of being visible and barriers to being visible, and we really wanted to share it with you. So Sophie, literally repeat what you just said to me about your experience of being visible as a business owner over the last couple of years.
Wow, it's been challenging actually, and I think a lot of people who kind of know me on the periphery might find that a little bit difficult to believe, because I have a lot of people who come up to me and they're like, "Oh, you're really confident." I'm like, "I am actually really socially awkward." So it's been tough. Like I find like all of my deep-rooted insecurities, all of my deep-rooted fears just come to the surface. And although, I run a we run a marketing agency, so I know the importance of being visible and I preach the importance of being visible. And when it comes to actually doing it myself, all of the stories that I have just come to the fore, and I kind of go back into myself again. And I was thinking of an analogy for this that really sort of summarizes it. And I feel a little bit like I'm a flower that's like just about to bloom and then goes back into its bud, like kind of on a time lapse boomerang, just like, like, I'm here, I'm not here. And I'm really aware, especially now with where it's more important than ever that those of us who really have this sort of draw to being part of community are doing all we can to be visible, so that we can create those communities and not just for business but personally. I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm actually not this sort of look at me person that I sort of maybe pretend to be, and I have a lot of fear around being visible.
And what do you think is the biggest fear that stops you? Like what is it your brain tells you?
It's usually, most of my fears are usually around like looking stupid, or accidentally offending someone, or like saying something that like is just taken out of context. All of these kind of like shame. Actually, it's shame-based fears that create stories that then go, no, it's too risky. No, go back into the bud. It's
Yeah.
safe in the bud.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing for me is around like saying the wrong thing, and like someone who knows better than me commenting
Yeah.
and being like, "Oh, actually, you're wrong. You don't know what you're
Yeah,
talking about."
you're stupid.
Yeah, and it's like that potential imposter syndrome always sitting there, being like, "But what if you don't actually know what you're talking about?"
Yeah, isn't that so funny? Because I find that the more I'm in this career, for example, and the more experience I have, the more imposter syndrome comes and tells me like I'm faking it all. Like when I first started, I had no problem with being like, I am the bee's knees, bitches. Like I was like so cocky, and now I'm like, please don't question my knowledge.
I think I was the same, and it's that whole thing of like, the more you know, the more you realize that you don't know.
Yeah, that was like some message on a tea bag the other day. my tea wisdom.
You've been drinking yogi tea again.
Yeah. And it was basically saying that same thing, like the older that you get, often the more you realize that you don't know. And that's actually a sign of maturity, which is great for maturity, and not so great when you're trying to be out there and not let your brain stop you.
And I think, at the moment, obviously, we're talking to a lot of businesses who are realizing that they are needing to take their kind of previously face-to-face services online.
Mm-hmm.
And I think all of these visibility fears are kind of coming up for everyone at the moment. And, like I said to you, the number one thing I get when I talking to businesses and business owners, and I'm giving social media consultancy, is I say to them, you've got to get yourself on video. And they go, no. And
not me.
And it's universal. It is every single person I think I've ever spoken to has had that reaction. There's maybe been like one person who's like, yeah, sure, I can get on video. I'm great on video.
Yeah.
And it's it is, I think that's those same fears kind of coming up for everyone. And it's not just about the fact that, thinking from a technical perspective, it's not just the fact that the social media algorithms favor video over other content. It is the fact that if you are looking to build genuine and authentic connections with your potential customers, they want to see you, they want to see your mannerisms, they want to hear your voice, they want to connect with you, they want to feel like they can approach you and have a conversation. And video is the best way to do that by far.
Exactly.
But I get it, there's a whole bunch of fear to like push through.
There really is. And like, we found, haven't we, that when we've been authentically ourselves, talked about our struggles, not tried to be like this perfect veneer behind this kind of almost like stock imagery picture of like everything's great, which I mean, obviously we do also do that. But like the layer of authenticity on top of that is when we come and share what's blocking us, because actually that's where we, you know, that vulnerability is where we humans kind of meet one another, and that's actually extremely important for every one of us to become that sort of self-expressed, not just in the veneer of perfection, but in the honesty around human emotion, especially now. Like, that's like right there for all of us, is this kind of like wavy period. You know, and I think that we found anyway, that's how a lot of our clients have come through that and seen us being vulnerable and then wanting to work with us because they think that we'll understand them. And we do, because we like humans.
Completely. And I think that, you know, the best way to get over any kind of fear of being visible is just to do it. Like, just film a video and put it out there.
And do you know, an example of this as well is like this video that we're doing. Just before we jumped on, I said to Alice, I mean, should we just invite someone who's an expert in being visible? And Alice like, why are you trying to hide behind people? Like, oh yeah, that's ironic. We're trying to film a video about being visible, but I don't want to be visible for that visible video.
No. And I love how the communications expert is like, oh, we should talk to someone who's an expert in gaining visibility.
Yeah, good point. And that, again, that comes down to imposter syndrome. That's my brain going, well, who are you? And like, what do you know about anything? Why would anyone care? And it's like, well, actually, like a decade of experience of working with people to be visible is probably good enough.
just good enough. Yeah.
But it is really interesting. And I think that's something, one thing actually, like a real takeaway from this is, one thing I've really noticed is people first, you know, trying being visible and going out on social media, or whether that's doing something like this and filming a Zoom conversation, or actually being live on Facebook, and prefixing it with, I don't know what I'm doing, almost like, please forgive me for being visible, is basically what they're saying. And it's like, it doesn't matter if the quality of your video is terrible. Like, it just matters that you're there and that you're being you in front of people, and that your intention is to reach people in their space and share yours. And like, who cares if you don't know what you're doing?
And I think, you know, the fact that you're not perfect, the fact that maybe the video quality or the audio quality isn't perfect, I think almost then gives permission to other people to put stuff out there that also is not perfect.
Yeah,
you're actually doing people a massive favor by going, you know what, I think this is good enough.
Yeah, and because it's so good enough. And I think that's the thing, like, we engage with content for what the content makes us feel like, and you know, and that's really important now, to have those messages of authenticity. You know, it's perfect even when it's really not. Oh.
There we go.
Friday feels.
Go forth and make
Go forth in your perfect imperfection.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye. Bye.